Elias was an old man. His back hurt, and his hands were rough from years of cleaning. He worked on a giant space station that floated near the edge of the galaxy. People did not talk to him much. They only called him when something was dirty. He never complained. He needed money to eat and survive. He cleaned floors, walls, and machines. No job was too small for him. One day something strange happened. A strange ship appeared near the station. It had no power and no signal. Its surface was dark metal, full of unknown symbols and old scratches. It looked like it came from another time, maybe thousands of years ago. The security team pulled the ship inside the station's hangar. Many people came to look at it, but no one dared to go inside. Scientists tried to scan it, but their tools did not work. Engineers could not open the big doors. Finally, the station commander said, "It's just an empty shell. Probably broken. Let's clean it and sell it for scrap." No one wanted to clean it. Everyone was scared. So they called Elias. The commander looked at him and said, "Old man, clean this alien junk. I'll give you 1 penny." Elias needed the money. Even 1 penny mattered to him. He nodded and took his cleaning kit. No suit, no scanner, just his simple tools and a heavy sigh. He walked into the ship through a small side hatch. The door creaked, and the air inside was thick and cold. But Elias kept moving. Inside, the ship was huge. The walls glowed with soft blue light. Everything was covered in dust. Strange vines grew from the ceiling. There were floating orbs frozen in the air like they had been sleeping for a long time. It was quiet, too quiet. Elias started cleaning. He did not understand the technology, but he used his old cloth and spray bottle like always. He wiped the control panels, the walls, and even the floor. As he cleaned, the ship made soft humming sounds. It was like it was waking up. But Elias did not notice. He just kept cleaning. He saw strange writing on the walls. It looked like stars and lines, maybe a map. He didn't touch it. He just cleaned around it carefully. He never wanted to damage anything. Then he found a large hallway. At the end of the hallway was a tall chair with glowing lights around it. It looked like a throne. Elias didn't sit on it. He only bowed his head a little and started wiping the floor near it. He whispered, "I don't know who you were, but I respect your ship." Suddenly, a blue orb floated down in front of him. Elias was surprised. He reached out and touched it without thinking. In that moment, images flashed before his eyes. He saw a galaxy full of giant ships, alien kings, and bright battles. He saw this ship leading a fleet in space. Then everything turned dark, like the ship had been sleeping for centuries. Elias stepped back, confused. What was that? He said, quietly. The orb disappeared. But Elias smiled. "Must be an old video," he said to himself, and went back to cleaning. Behind him, the walls started to glow brighter. The ship was watching him. Systems deep inside began to start again. Lights turned on in hidden places. Soft whispers filled the air. The ship was not empty. It was alive. And it was interested in the man who cleaned it with such care. Elias didn't know. To him, it was just another job. Another dusty place. Another penny to earn. But the ship knew better. And far away, someone else was watching too, a very rich being who had been searching for this ship for a long time. Elias returned to the alien ship the next day. No one cared where he went. No one asked if he was okay. He just took his cleaning bag and walked back inside the strange, ancient ship. The hatch opened by itself this time, like the ship knew him now. He looked around and smiled. "You're brighter today," he said softly. The walls glowed with warm blue light. The dust on the floor was less than yesterday. The air smelled cleaner. Something had changed. But Elias thought maybe his eyes were just getting used to it. He walked deeper into the ship. As he cleaned, small floating lights followed him silently. They looked like tiny blue fireflies. Elias didn't notice them at first. But when he turned around, he saw them blinking. "Huh," he whispered. "Cute little lights." He waved at them, and they blinked in reply. Elias laughed. It was the first time he had laughed in weeks. The lights danced in the air, as if they were happy to. He moved to another hallway and found a strange mirror on the wall, but it didn't show his reflection. Instead, it showed stars. A whole sky of stars, moving slowly. Elias stood in front of it for a long time, watching. "Is this a map?" he asked. The mirror didn't answer, but the stars inside shifted. A tiny red dot started blinking on one corner. Elias blinked too. "Is that where we are?" The ship made a low hum, like a yes. Elias smiled again. "You really are still alive, aren't you?" He sat down on the floor and sighed. I'm just a janitor. I don't know anything about space or tech. But I think you're special. The floor lit up beneath him. A soft pattern of circles and symbols appeared under his feet, like the ship was listening carefully. Meanwhile, far away on the same station, a rich man watched a screen. He wore dark robes and golden rings on his fingers. His name was Zereth. His eyes glowed faintly, showing he was not fully human. He was half alien, the last son of a royal bloodline from a forgotten empire. He had been searching for his family's lost ship for many years. Now, finally, he had found it. His small spy device was hidden inside the alien ship. Through it, he could see Elias Cleating, touching the ship, speaking to it like a friend. Zereth was confused. Why is this poor man talking to my ship? He asked his assistant. He is just a cleaner, sir, the assistant said. They gave him the job. For 1 penny. Zereth watched more. The ship was responding to Elias opening doors, showing lights, revealing maps. It had never done that for anyone else. Strange, Zereth whispered. Why him? Back inside the ship, Elias opened a new door. It led to a round room full of floating chairs and old alien screens. In the center was a table shaped like a star. He cleaned it carefully. When he touched the table, it lit up. A hologram appeared above a tan alien figure in armor, holding a sword of light. It spoke, in an unknown language. The voice was deep and echoing. Elias didn't understand the words, but he felt something powerful in his chest. His hands shook. His heart beat faster. Are you the captain? He asked. The hologram looked at him and nodded. Then it disappeared. Elias stood frozen for a moment. Then he wiped his hands on his cloth and chuckled nervously. Well, I guess even ghosts need a clean table. As he laughed softly, the ship released a warm breeze, like it was laughing too. Zereth watched from his chamber, eyes wide. The ship. It likes him, he said quietly. Elias had no idea. To him, it was just another strange day. But for the ship and for the galaxy, something had started. Something big. Elias returned to the ship again. He had cleaned many places in his life: bathrooms, old cargo ships, dirty markets. But this ship felt different. It felt like home. The door opened before he touched it. Warm light welcomed him. The strange blue fireflies floated ahead, guiding his path like gentle friends. Today, he brought an old music player with him. It was broken, but sometimes it worked. As he walked through the glowing hallway, he turned it on. A soft old song, played full of slow notes and sadness. He placed the player on a ledge and began cleaning the control panels again. I used to listen to this song with my wife, he said quietly. She passed away 10 years ago. I miss her every day. The ship didn't say anything, but the lights around him dimmed, like they were giving him space. He smiled sadly. It's okay. Life moves on. Suddenly, the control panel in front of him lit up. A small screen appeared, showing an image of a woman. She looked human, but her clothes were ancient, and her eyes glowed faintly. Elias gasped. Who are you? The woman's image smiled and placed a hand over her heart. Then she faded. I think you miss someone too, Elias whispered. He moved deeper into the ship. The next room looked like a garden, but all the plants were dry and dead. Long vines hung from the ceiling. Broken flower pods lay on the floor. He kneeled down and touched one. You were beautiful once, he said. He began cleaning carefully. Dust rose like smoke. As he cleaned, something magical happened. The vines moved slowly. One of the flower pods opened, and a tiny blue light came out. It floated near his hand and glowed. Then another, and another. The garden began to wake up. Elias stepped back in surprise. What is this place? The walls showed holograms again. Images of the garden, alive, full of color, with birds flying and alien children laughing. Then the image turned. Black warships filled the sky. Fire fell from above, and everything burned. Elias's heart felt heavy. You were attacked, he said. You lost everything. The ship gave a soft sound, like a sigh. I know how that feels, he said, putting his hand on a vine. I lost my home too. Long time ago. Suddenly, the floor shook. Elias grabbed a rail. Red lights blinked on the walls. An earthquake, he said. But it wasn't the ship. Outside, something was happening. Back in the command center of the space station, Zereth was watching everything. His golden eyes were fixed on Elias. The ship is waking up, his assistant said. This man is unlocking it. Zereth nodded. Yes, and I need to see him with my own eyes. He stood up, put on his royal coat, and walked toward the hangar. Inside the ship, Elias moved carefully back to the hallway. The lights guided him toward a new room. The door opened slowly. Inside, he saw a huge crystal in the middle of the room. It floated above a platform and pulsed with light like a heart. Elias stepped forward. Suddenly, a voice filled the room. Deep, clear, powerful. Identity unknown. Presence accepted. Bond initiated. Elias froze. What did I do? The crystal shone brightly. Lines of light shot through the ship's walls. Systems turned on. Engines hummed softly. Somewhere, weapons powered up. The ship had chosen. Elias fell to his knees, shaking. I'm just a janitor. Outside, Zareth stepped into the ship's open hatch. He heard the hum. He felt the power. He smiled. It has begun. Elias had no idea his simple job had just changed the future of the galaxy. Elias sat on the floor, breathing slowly. The crystal above him still glowed, but it was calm now. The voice had stopped. The light in the ship was soft again. What just happened? Elias whispered. He looked at his hands. They were shaking. He stood up slowly and walked back toward the main hallway. The blue lights followed him again, more active this time, dancing around him like tiny stars dot in the control room. The big chair, the one shaped like a throne, began to glow. Elias noticed it but did not sit. I don't belong there, he said. I'm just here to clean. But the ship disagreed. The chair turned slowly toward him. It made a low sound, like it was calling him. Elias stepped back, unsure. Just then, someone entered the ship. Elias turned around quickly. Footsteps echoed through the hallway. From the shadows, a tall man appeared. He wore dark clothes with golden lines. His hair was silver, and his eyes glowed faint yellow. Who are you? Elias asked. The man smiled calmly. My name is Zeroth. Elias looked at him with caution. You're not from the station crew? No, Zeroth said. I came for this ship. Elias frowned. Do you work for the scrapyard boss? Zeroth chuckled. No, old man. I am the heir of the house that once ruled this ship. It belonged to my family. Elias blinked. You're a prince. In a way, yes, Zeroth said. But now, I'm just a traveler, trying to bring back what was lost. Elias looked around at the glowing walls. Then why not enter it before? I tried, Zeroth said. But the ship stayed silent. It opened for no one. Until you came. Elias was confused. Me, but I'm just a janitor. Zeroth stepped forward. That's what makes it strange. And amazing. This ship has high-level security. It only connects with someone it chooses. But it accepted you. I didn't do anything special, Elias said. I just cleaned. You cleaned with care, Zeroth replied. You spoke kindly to it. You treated it like it mattered. Elias said nothing. He had never thought of that as something special. It was just how he lived his life. Zeroth looked at the chair. It turned to face you. Elias nodded. Then it has bonded with you, Zeroth said. You are no longer a stranger to this ship. You are part of it now. Elias took a step back. I didn't ask for that. No one ever asks, Zeroth said. Destiny comes quietly. They both stood in silence for a moment. Then Zeroth smiled. You have done something no warrior, no scientist, no royal could do. The ship woke up because of you. Elias felt overwhelmed. He looked at the chair, then back at Zeroth. So, what now? Zeroth raised an eyebrow. Now, I asked for your help. My help? Elias asked, confused. Yes, Zeroth said. I want to restore my people's name. I want peace and power to return to the galaxy. But I can't do it alone. Elias shook his head. I'm not a leader. I don't even understand half the things inside this ship. Zeroth looked serious. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to be true to yourself. The ship has already chosen you. That is enough. Elias looked around. The ship was waiting. It wasn't just a machine, it was alive, and it trusted him. He thought for a while, then gave a small nod. All right, I'll help. But I'm still keeping my cleaning cloth, he said with a grin. Zeroth laughed. Fair enough. In that moment, the ship lit up completely. Lights across the walls and ceiling turned on. The engines hummed louder. Somewhere deep inside, a voice whispered again. Command confirmed. Preparing for activation. Elias didn't know where this journey would lead, but he had taken the first step. The ship had changed. Everything inside was now alive. Lights glowed across the walls. The floors were warm underfoot. The air was fresh, like a garden in spring. Elias stood near the control room, with Zeroth beside him. The giant star map in front of them was no longer dusty and broken. It now showed moving planets, stars, and blinking dots. One red dot flashed brighter than the others. Zareth pointed at it. "That's a signal," he said. "A warning." Elias leaned closer. "What kind of warning?" Zareth's face became serious. "Someone knows this ship is awake now, and they're coming." Elias looked worried. "Is that bad?" Zareth nodded. "Very bad. This ship was once a powerful weapon. Many old enemies still fear it." Elias stepped back. "I didn't want trouble. I only came to clean." Zareth smiled. "But you brought the ship back to life. That makes you part of this now," Elias sighed. "I was hoping to finish the job and go home." Zareth shook his head. "There's no going back now. You have a new home right here." Elias looked around. The ship did feel like home. The lights, the sounds, the feeling of being needed, was something he hadn't felt in years. Just then, the blue lights began to swirl in front of them. A new door opened behind the throne. Zareth turned to Elias. "The ship wants to show you something." Elias followed him through the door. They entered a chamber full of floating crystals. Each crystal showed a different memory, like a living photo album. One crystal showed alien children playing in the ship's garden. Another showed a tall warrior's Eretz father standing in the control room with pride. Then, one crystal floated down to Elias. He touched it gently. It showed him. He saw himself entering the ship for the first time, cleaning the walls, talking to the empty rooms, laughing alone. Elias stepped back, surprised. "The ship remembers me," Zareth nodded. "It doesn't forget those it trusts." Suddenly, the ship's voice returned, deep and smooth. "New user accepted. Role, Guardian. Rank, Keeper of Heart." Elias blinked. "What does that mean?" Zareth looked amazed. "It means the ship has made you its protector." Elias laughed a little. "A janitor became a guardian. That's crazy." "It's not crazy," Zareth said. "It's fate." Before Elias could speak again, alarms started to ring. Red lights blinked. "Fast." The ship spoke again. "Enemy ship detected. Distance, 200,000 kilometers. Approaching fast." Zareth became alert. "They found us faster than I thought." Elias followed him back to the control room. The star map now showed a black dot coming close. It was big and fast. Elias looked at the chair. "Should I sit?" Zareth nodded slowly. "Yes. The ship will listen to you." Elias walked to the chair. It turned gently toward him, inviting him. He took a deep breath and sat down. The ship's lights grew brighter. The engines started to glow. A new control screen opened in front of Elias. "Wow," he said, touching the controls softly. Zareth stood beside him. "Just speak to the ship. Tell it what you want." Elias cleared his throat. Show me the enemy ship." The screen changed. A sharp-looking warship appeared. It had red markings and long weapons on its sides. Zareth narrowed his eyes. "Pirates. Dangerous ones." Elias looked at the ship, then at the chair, then at the glowing control screen. He smiled. "Let's give them a reason to run." The ship's weapons came online. Shields activated. Hidden panels opened across the hull. For the first time in his life, Elias wasn't holding a mop. He was holding power. The enemy ship was now much closer. Red lights flashed on the map. The alien ship Elias had cleaned was no longer just quiet. Metal, it was a living machine, ready for battle. Elias sat in the command chair, hands on the controls. His heart was beating fast, but his face was calm. "I've never been in a fight before," he said. Zareth stood beside him. "The ship will help you. It won't let you fail." The screen showed the pirate ship moving fast. It sent out a message in a strange language. The ship translated it. "Surrender the vessel, or be destroyed." Elias looked at Zareth. "I guess they don't want to talk." Zareth smiled. "They want power. That's all." Elias nodded. "Then let's show them what this ship can do." The old janitor took a deep breath. "Ship, raise shields." The walls glowed. A blue energy field covered the ship like a bubble. The lights inside became sharp and ready. "Activate weapons," Elias said. Panels opened on the ship's sides. Bright cannons, missile tubes, and laser launchers came out. Everything was smooth and quiet, like the ship had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Outside, the pirate ship started firing. Red blasts hit the shield, but bounced off. The ship did not even shake. Elias held the control stick. His fingers trembled a little. "Fire warning shot," he said. A bright beam shot from the ship, and passed just near the enemy ship's side. It exploded in space, but did not hit them directly. The pirate ship stopped for a moment. Then it fired again harder. Elias looked at the screen. Okay, no more warnings. He pressed a button. The ship launched 2 fast-moving energy balls. They hit the pirate ship's front shield. Fire exploded. Metal pieces floated away. The enemy ship turned around. They're running, Zerath said, smiling. Elias leaned back. Good, let them. But the ship spoke again. Multiple signals detected. Enemy reinforcements arriving. Estimated time, 3 minutes. Elias sighed. Of course, Zerath became serious. We can't fight them all, not yet. Elias looked at the map. Is there a safe place we can jump to? Zerath pointed. There's a planet called Vera. Old allies used to live there. Maybe they still do. Elias nodded. Set course. Let's go. The ship prepared for jump. Engines charged up. The sound was deep and powerful. Lights moved through the floor like flowing rivers. Elias whispered. You're still strong, even after all this time. Just before the ship jumped, one last message came from the enemy. We will find you again. Elias said nothing. He just stared at the screen. Then he spoke in a firm voice. You can try. In a flash of blue light, the ship vanished. They appeared near a small green planet. It was peaceful and quiet. The stars around it were bright and still. Elias let out a breath of relief. That was close. Zerath nodded. You did well. You led the ship like a true captain. I'm not a captain, Elias said. I'm just a janitor with lucky hands. Zerath laughed. Maybe that's exactly what this galaxy needs. The ship floated silently in orbit. Below them, the planet Vera waited. Elias looked out the window. He had started this journey for a penny. Now he had fired ancient weapons, escaped death, and led a living starship through battle. He touched the armrest of the chair and smiled. I cleaned you, ship, and now you cleaned me. From the inside, Zerath placed a hand on his shoulder. This is just the beginning. The stars outside shone brighter than ever. The alien ship now floated calmly above the green planet Vera. The stars outside were quiet. But Elias knew it was only a short rest. The enemy would return. Maybe not today, but soon. Elias stood in the garden room. The plants had started growing again. The glowing flowers were blooming. The ship was healing itself. Slowly. With every passing hour, he placed his old cleaning cloth on a small table. You deserve more than dust, now. He whispered. Z. Wrath entered the room. The planet has received our signal. They're sending a ship to meet us. Do they know who you are? Elias asked. Zerath nodded. They remember my family. If they still respect our name, we may find help here. Elias looked at him. You think they'll believe your story? That a janitor now controls the royal ship? Zerath smiled. They'll believe when they see you. This ship chose you, and it follows only those it trusts. Later, a small vessel rose from Vera and docked with the alien ship. 2 beings came aboard. One was tall, with gray skin and wide eyes. The other was short, glowing slightly, and floated just above the floor. They both bowed. We welcome the heir of the lost line, the tall one said to Zerath. Then they turned to Elias, and we greet the keeper of heart. Elias blinked. I'm not used to greetings like that. Usually people tell me to mop faster. The floating one smiled. The ship speaks to us. It told us your story. You are no longer just a cleaner. You are chosen. Elias felt shy, but he nodded politely, walked with the visitors toward the control room. Elias followed. On the way, they passed glowing walls where old memories played battles, victories, peace treaties, and the fall of an empire. The visitors watched quietly. Then the tall one said, there are others, like us old friends of your family. If we send a signal, they may join us. Zerath looked at Elias. Should we call them? Elias thought for a moment. Then he said, yes. If we want peace again, we need all the help we can get. The tall visitor bowed. Then it shall be done. Soon, a beacon signal was sent out from the ship. It moved across the stars, calling old allies, and many answered. Within days, more ships appeared near Vera. They were all different shapes and sizes, some round, some like sharp arrows, some as big as cities. They came in peace. They came for hope. Elias watched from the window. It's like a family coming home. Zerath stood beside him. You started this, you know? Elias shook his head. No, I just wiped some dust. Zerath smiled. No, he treated something broken with kindness. And that kindness woke a sleeping world. Later, in a special ceremony room, the visitors placed a new badge on Elias's jacket. It was shaped like a star, with a cleaning cloth and a glowing circle. This is yours, the tall one said. The badge of the first human guardian. Elias looked down at it, touched it gently, and laughed. Guess I got promoted. The ship hummed warmly. In the weeks that followed, Elias helped build a new council with Zereth and the allied ships. Together, they planned to stop the pirates and restore peace across the stars. But Elias never forgot who he was. He still walked the ship each morning, cloth in hand, talking to the walls like old friends. He told jokes to the lights. He sang old Earth songs in the garden room, and sometimes a ship sang back. The galaxy would remember many great names, but they would never forget the simple man who cleaned an ancient ship for a penny and became its heart.